Okay, so we're going to start off with, just as we think about this story, and we'll be leading up to the end of that reading where it talked about being rich towards God. So at the back of your mind, through the next few minutes or so, think, what does it mean to you to be rich towards God? And that's where we'll end with, okay? But first, we're going to have a big build challenge. So we've got Stuart, who's been has been volunteered, and this young man here. So what the challenge is, and maybe someone, do you want to come out? Are you? Alfie. Right, I was nearly going to call you Ollie. If somebody wants to help Alfie, that would be great. Okay, do you want to come out? So the idea is 2 structures, and in a couple of minutes, see how tall you can get the structure. Can you do that? Do you want to work as a team? Do you want to help? Do you want to help Stuart? Because I think he might need a bit of support. Okay, so ready? Get building. If somebody can time a couple of minutes, that would be great. Okay. How big? Remember that farmer? You get building and building and building. So we've been thinking around that, haven't we? Bigger, newer, better. Isn't that what most of us would like? Not many of you said you would like to be rich, but I wonder. I should have mentioned for me that probably a big truck would be good as well, but anyway. So a new toy. I wonder what the latest thing is in toys. Maybe some of these would. What's the latest thing in toys? Oh, they're too busy. We've got a granddaughter, a teenage granddaughter, by the way, who loves jelly cats. Anyone know what jelly cats are? They are plush toys, and a lot of them are like food, like croissants and stuff like that. Don't ask. Anyway, we took her on holiday last month to Paris, and one of the things she wanted to do was go to one of the big department stores and go and get a new jelly cat. One that was only available in that store. It was a cake, a soft toy cake. It was only that big, but anyway. So that's one thing. Or the latest computer game. Any gamers here? Nobody's submitting to anything this morning. Oh, great, thank you, Ruth. I wonder what the latest thing is. There's so many. What do you play? You always want the latest, the upgrade, what's the newest? Or a new or newer car. Who would like that? I certainly would. My car's getting a bit old now. I think it's the oldest car on our circle. So should we go electric or stick with diesel or petrol? I don't know. Or a bigger house. Some would like a bigger house. Some of us might be downsizing, but some, well, are we done? Right. Anyway, or a new shed. Just get that in. I've got six wooden structures so far. Not planning to get any more. Okay, so how do you think we've done? Well, I think Stuart and Zelda have done fantastic. That's good. So that's tall, but that's quite substantial, isn't it? So I think they're both very good, aren't they? You've built a really strong one. So that's strong and big, and that is tall and big and fairly. Just leave it there. Let's see if it'll. Do you want to sit down and I'll be careful not to knock these over. Now, all these things which I mentioned aren't bad in themselves. It's when we get obsessed with them, when they take over our lives. That's all we can think about. I would like another. I would like a little bit more. I really need just one more. Have you ever heard that? I'd just like another. I'm going to tell you a story, okay? This shows you I do quite a lot of reading. Probably most of it's cosy crime. But this story shows you the level of my intellect, okay? So shall we have the first slide? Right. This is one of my favourite characters. I must get his name right. This is Marvin the sheep. So I'll read the story, and hopefully the slides will all be there. I'm going to read those words. So the sheep in the meadow loved to play together all day long. But Marvin was feeling rather gloomy. "What's the matter?" asked Molly. "I can't run as fast or jump as high as the other sheep," grumbled Marvin. "I'm too small. It's not fair. But I like you as you are, said Molly. But Marvin wanted to be just a little bit bigger. So when all the other sheep had finished eating, Marvin ate some more. As Marvin ate more, he grew bigger and bigger. And soon he could run faster and jump much higher than the other sheep. But as he grew bigger and bigger, he just wanted more and more until he couldn't stop. Would you like to be a bit bigger, Ollie? No. You will. Don't eat the forest, cried the other sheep. You're getting too big, cried Molly. But Marvin loved being bigger. Just a little bit more, he said. And he munched up the forest in a matter of minutes. That's enough, shouted Molly. But Marvin was too busy to listen. He gobbled up mountains and drank whole lakes. But Marvin still wanted more. Then he swallowed up an entire country in one big gulp. But it's just a story. But Marvin still wanted just a little bit more. So he jumped on the moon and ate the world. I know, even Molly, he must have eaten Molly up. Anyway, but then Marvin stopped. He was all alone. He missed the trees and the meadows and the other sheep, but most of all, he missed Molly. And in this made him feel very, very ill. Then all of a sudden, Marvin was sick. Out came, wouldn't you be? Out came the world and everything in it. Although things weren't quite the same as they were before, Marvin felt much better. I like you just the way you are, whispered Molly. I like me just the way I am too, said Marvin. So Marvin's problem was he wanted a little more, that's right. I wonder if he really learnt his lesson. He wanted more. He wanted to get bigger and he couldn't stop till he was enormous. I guess most of us like a bit more. We were a bit reluctant to say we like a bit more money. Apparently those on 40,000 think it's not enough. I wouldn't mind being, anyway. Millionaires would like a bit more. And I bet those billionaires we saw would also like just a bit more. Just to be on the safe side. Is it being greedy or is it how we're made? Now Jesus told this story, or parable, story with a meaning, about the rich farmer. In answer to someone who asked the question, Jesus, asked my brother to share his inheritance with me. That's what kicked the story off. I wonder if he said, it's not fair. Because he had it all. That's how it was in those days. He'd been left with it all. It's not fair. Make my brother share the inheritance with me. What was Jesus thinking about in his answer to the man in the crowd that day? People being greedy? People being selfish? People not being satisfied with what they have? People with the wrong priorities in their lives? Just getting more, just a little bit more. Probably it was a mixture of all these things, because he said, watch out and be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life doesn't consist in the abundance of possessions. Now, it's not wrong or bad to want nice things, but we're not to get obsessed by such things, because life is more than having stuff, more stuff. And notice, it's usually about self, isn't it? I want more. I want just a little bit more. It's all about me. You know, apparently nobody at the end of their life has ever said, I wish I had a bit more money, a bigger house, a better car. They've usually said, I wish I spent a bit more time with my family, with my friends, with the things that matter. More stuff doesn't bring happiness or true contentment. And the Bible has a lot to say about being content with what you have, with what God's given to us. Verse 21, as Jesus finishes, at the end of the story, says, this how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich towards God. Not rich towards God. What do you think he meant by that? Being rich towards God. The next bit of Luke's Gospel, Jesus talked about not worrying about things. And he says in verse 31, if I can find it, seek first his kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well. They're the things we should be seeking. Okay, anybody got any ideas what they would say being rich towards God is? Right, I've got my runner. I think you've got a couple over there. Put your hand up.
You can't learn the things that Jesus has.
There's the birthday girl. Yeah, there.
Using God's gifts to you to fulfill his will, not yours.
That's good, yes. Anything else? Any wisdom? Right.
It's knowing him as your constant companion and your friend who's always there beside you,
Right,
helping.
thanks. I knew we'd get an answer. Okay, we can share with it afterwards. That's great, thank you. It's things like faith, isn't it? Service, obedience, being the people that God wants us to be. So, do you want to sit down or do you want to stand there? Let the lesson of this story sink in, shall we? And especially when we're tempted to want more stuff, just a little bit more. Remember Marvin. And let's take up Jesus' challenge and seek to be rich towards God. I think that's about putting him first in our lives, discovering our calling, what he wants us to do, and maybe more importantly, the kind of people he wants us to be as his witnesses, as his ambassadors, what he wants to do in my life, having those kind of things. A life of service and commitment, being faithful to Jesus. Put Jesus first. I think it's about loving and caring for our families, our spouses, our children, our brothers and sisters. I hope they care for each other. It can be a bit annoying, can't they? A little sister or a brother, but we've got to love them as well, loving and caring for them. Loving our neighbours, which could be the people next door or people far away. Part of our service and mission beyond our doors. And investing in our time, talents and energy in the things that matter and will lost, which is what Jesus was saying, wasn't it? Seek the things that really matter. So let's keep Jesus and his words in our hearts and minds, and let's be the people, the men and women, boys and girls he is calling us to be today. And we can be ambitious, but the Bible tells us to be content with what we have. Let's channel our ambition in the right way so that we build something of God's kingdom here and wherever we are. Let's learn to be rich towards God. Amen.